Guys, in this video, we are going over how to run faster and longer in soccer. I'm going to be giving you some ideas to keep in mind. They're going to help you do both of these things. And I'm also going to give you a lot of drills that are going to help you with your speed, your agility, and your stamina. That's coming up next. Guys, this video is brought to you by Villain Headphones, the best quality and most affordable Bluetooth headphones you will find in order to help you with your football training, whether that is having to go for a run, working on your soccer skills, working on your freestyling, or maybe you're working on your shooting ability. Whatever it is, these headphones will be perfect for it, and you can get 20% off using the discount code linked in the description below. All right, guys, so the first thing you're going to want to do before doing any kind of sprinting drills or anything that we're going to be doing is getting in a proper warm-up. Now, you might have your own personal warm-up that you like. I personally like doing things with the ball and without the ball, but make sure during your warm-up you're practicing your sprints 50 to 70%, at least a little bit, getting those muscles warmed up. I'll show you a few things as I'm talking here that you can do, but don't just go to the field and then start practicing your sprinting at 100% immediately. You know, that's just asking for to pull a muscle or to injure yourself in some way. So first thing before doing anything else in this video or any sprinting training whatsoever is get a warm-up in. So the way we are breaking up this video is as follows. First, we're going to look at sprinting form. You know, if you have proper form while you are sprinting, because sometimes if you are sprinting with improper form, that is going to slow you down, and you're going to be able to add a little more speed to your sprint just by having proper form. So we'll cover that first. Then we're going to be going over explosiveness, some drills that are going to help you develop this, some plyometric drills and similar things that are going to help you on that first initial burst and with your sprint speed overall. We're also going to be going over some other drills you need to be doing consistently if you want to add to your sprint speed, if you want to be getting faster and better at this. And we'll also cover things like resistance band training that's going to help you in different ways. So let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to actually mention is, like anything else, sprints take practice. Are you actually practicing your sprinting with proper form? Because if you're not, then when you get to the field, when you're in match, you're just going to default onto any old form that you may have been doing unconsciously. So this is something you actually have to consciously practice. So the form we're going to be going over is pretty simple, but make sure when you are running, when you are practicing your sprints, that you are following this form, and also make sure you're getting out there a couple times a week to actually just do normal sprints and practice this. So the first thing you want to make sure you're doing is pumping your arms. And this is one of the most common mistakes that many players make, is they're either pumping their arms in a way that's inefficient or they're not pumping them enough. You don't want to be flapping your arms around, and you don't want to be making it so that you have more resistance when you are sprinting. And you want your arms out a little bit, just moving in a pumping motion in tandem or in sequence with your body. The next thing is on your initial push-off, really look to spring forward, pushing a lot of force into the ground. You really want to push your toes into that ground and launch yourself on that initial run, because those first few yards can be hugely important when it comes to getting to the ball first or beating an opponent into the space or whatever else. You know, there are many players who may not be that fast over a long distance, but are incredibly fast over the first few yards, and that can be very valuable in this game. Next is, especially over the first few yards, you want to lean forward and then kind of come a little more upright as you start getting more into stride. But that initial lean forward is going to help your momentum forward and, again, provide less resistance. So make sure you have that little lean forward as you're going, you have that strong push-up, and you're pumping your arms. You want your knees to be up and forward as you're doing this run as well. You want to pump your arms and your legs and your knees forward in that way. If you're taking very little steps, you're not pumping those knees, it's going to be very hard to generate the speed that you want. So just make sure you're pumping those arms, you're getting those knees up and forward. One other thing I'm going to throw in there with basic form is that when you want to change directions, and we're not really talking too much about changing directions in this video, but when you do, you want to make sure you get low. If you try and change direction from a more upright position, it's not going to be as effective, it's going to be slower. So make sure when you do change directions, you're getting low, you're bending those knees, you're really getting a solid center of gravity, and then you're changing directions. Okay, so next we want to go over explosiveness, and to give you some drills that are going to help with this, and also some plyometric drills. So one of my favorite drills for helping with this is actually running hills. This is great because it offers you a lot of resistance, and you have to apply more force in order to get up the hill faster and faster. Now, the basic idea here, it's pretty simple. You need to find a hill that's big enough that provides enough resistance for you, and you're just going to, with proper form, try and sprint up the hill as fast as you can. This is going to force you to be on your toes more. It's going to force you to commit to proper form while you run as well, and just to exert more force into the ground with each stride. So for this is great. You can do 5 to 10 runs up the hill per set, and then take a little bit of a break and do it a couple more times. And again, this is a staple drill that many teams do, coaches have players do, because it just works. This is also going to work on your stamina, but you will notice over time that this is affecting your speed as well. And it's one of the first drills I would have you start with, besides actually just doing normal sprints. Another drill I really like is doing long strides in this manner. Now, with each little hop that you take here, you want to go as far as you can, again applying as much force into each stride as you can, going left, right, and then left. And you'll notice I'm not going exactly in a straight line. I'm going a little bit to the side with each one, and also notice that I'm pumping my arms with each step as well. Again, we want to work on our form here, coordinating our body, making it more efficient. But this is another great little drill that you can do in order to improve this area. There's also a one-legged version of this that you can do, but for now we're just going to focus on this normal version right here. Another great plyometric drill is just ball hops. Now, along with your speed, this is also going to increase your agility. For this one, you need to be on your toes the whole time, hopping up and over the ball as fast as you can. Now, you can do this for 30 seconds to a minute, whichever you prefer. Obviously, the longer you go, the more your stamina is also going to increase, and I would recommend doing at least 3 sets of this one. Try and make it so your arms aren't flailing out too much, having them close to your body like I do here, and keeping them in good form. If you have kind of your arms flapping about all the time, that's not going to help you. It's going to probably off balance you. So make sure you're pretty solid here. But again, just go as fast as you can for now. And if you need to, just do 30 seconds. But if you can, do a minute. Next, we're just going to get into some jumps. Now, for this one, you're just going to bend down kind of like a spring, and then spring yourself forward as far as you can. Again, this is going to help with your explosiveness, and you'll notice after you do this drill a few times, over time, that you'll be able to go further and further and further. And again, this is going to have to do with initial explosiveness over those first few yards, and it's going to be very helpful in that regard. So again, you're just getting low like a spring, and then springing forward, launching yourself forward as far as you can. A similar drill is squat jumps, which many of you have probably done before, where you're just going to squat down, not a deep squat, just a little squat, and then you're going to launch yourself up and then come back to the beginning. This is a constant one. You're not going to set yourself each time. You're going to jump up, you're going to squat down, jump up, and then continue doing the movement. You're not going to pause to set yourself. You're just going to do it continuously. This is a great little drill, again, that can be done anywhere, which is why it's perfect if you don't have equipment or anything else. Again, you want to do probably around 20 or 30 of these per set, but again, you can increase or decrease that depending on what you're going for or what your level is. But I would do 20 to 30 of these, or do 30 seconds of these for 3 to 5 sets. So this next one is called scissors, and essentially what it is lunging, except you're jumping into each lunge. Now for this one, you can do short ones here, or you can do a larger hop upwards like I'm doing now. both will work and accomplish different things. This is another really good one again for explosiveness, and you will find that this is harder than it looks, especially over time. Again, I would do it timed for this one, so do 30 seconds, aiming for 3 to 5 sets. You can also do it for a minute, again, depending where you're at now, depending on your fitness level, depending on how often you do this, so when your muscles are going to fatigue. But again, another really good drill for that initial explosiveness, and also going to help you with your stamina a little bit as you continue to do it. So this one is simply called wall drive, and this is going to be great for your running form. So the idea is already having one leg up at a 90-degree angle. You're going to drive your other leg forward while bringing your other leg down. Now, when you do this, you can get into a nice little rhythm going a little faster and faster and faster, but really work on driving that forward up, that leg up, pressing your foot into the ground with a lot of force to get it up quickly. And this is going to help your running form and again, your explosiveness. I just want to mention one other thing, and that is to make sure you're practicing your sprinting with the ball. Now, your form is going to be different here, and this video doesn't really cover that specifically, but just make sure you are practicing this, because your form with the ball is going to be different than your sprinting form and technique without the ball. We are training pretty much just direct sprint speed in this video, but running with the ball is going to be a whole different beast, a whole different technique, or at least it's going to be a little bit different than you see here. So make sure you're doing certain drills that are going to help you sprint with the ball directly, change directions, and things of that nature. And also with all of these drills, guys, these are just some examples of plyometric drills you can do, explosiveness drills, sprint training you can do. There are plenty other drills out there, so if you want, you can always look up some other ones to see which ones work for you or which ones you want to give a try. These are just some for you to get started that do work very well.